Thank you for tuning in to Tackling Tomfoolery. I am Malika Wakanda Forever Rogers.
Damn it. Come on. I don't even have it. I'm A.M. Lewis. All I can do is say I'm doing a Wakanda Forever salute right now because I don't have a name. A Wakanda appropriate name.
Crap. I've just been saying it to myself every day. Wakanda Forever. I feel like it's gonna be my answer to like everything. Somebody getting on my nerves, I'm gonna just be like, "Well, girl, Wakanda Forever." You know.
I'm gonna make it my signature line on my email at work. People are gonna be like, "Wait, Alicia, what?" And I'm gonna find the little cross arm emoji to go with it too. I have to copy and paste it. I'm going to.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it should go.
I don't know if the jobby job folks will appreciate it, but
whenever I find a good deal online, I'll be like, "Woo, Wakanda Forever." The shoes are on sale. Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
you know, I feel like it could serve many purposes.
Oh. I saw a post somewhere. We're talking about the grave, whatever, from 18 years from now, be full of Wakandas and T'Challas.
Yes.
And I believe that's going to happen. You can't tell me some babies aren't fixing to be named after these characters in this movie. And it's going to be little male and female Wakandas running around.
Someone has given birth over the past few days and probably switched it up. I was going to name the baby Chris, but I think I'm going to go with, T'Challa or T'Chaka or,
I want to know who's going to name their baby literally Wakanda, first name, middle name, forever. Watkins. Wakanda F. Watkins. What's your middle name? Forever.
First name Wakanda, middle name shit is this. People will figure out some kind of way to be extra with it because we are an extra people.
Because that is us.
Not extraneous, but definitely extra. Mm-hmm.
Sprinkles on top.
Yeah. Your donut ain't shit unless it got sprinkles on it anyway, so.
Sprinkles.
Or sequins on your clothes.
Caramel sauce.
What are the clothes if they don't have sequins? Or as dummies say, sequin. Anyway, it makes me so mad when people say that. She had on a sequence dress. So the dress was in order? It followed something? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we do thank you for tuning in to Tackling Tomfoolery. We'll get it cracking with some highs.
Checking out the fellas, the highs and lows.
Obviously. My high. Well, I have a couple highs. My obvious high is how much I enjoyed the 2 times so far I saw Black Panther. The first experience seeing it was especially cool because I went to a private screening and there was music playing before the movie started and there was some Fela Kuti playing. And then after that, it went straight into Kendrick. And it just made me feel real badass. I mean, I feel badass anyway, but that music just made it worse. And it was awesome. And it was hella Black, even though it was a mixed crowd in that, screening theater or whatever. It was a super Black atmosphere. And I loved it. And then the second time I saw it, it was a very different crowd, but I was still Black as fuck in there in my dashiki. But anyway, so that was one of my highs. And my second high, I guess, is I started a new job this week. And it was a long time coming to escape from my previous job.
E.T. Shane, it sure was.
And someone almost died, and it was not me. So I am glad to be venturing into something new and something that I think will feel purposeful. So I am tired. This is my second day. I am tired, but I am excited and glad, and that was my other high. And and interestingly, as glad as I am to be away from where I was, and as excited as I am to be starting something new, it genuinely does not trump Black Panther. It
When
will
you get a new
alter.
job that you've been waiting for Lord knows how long, and Black Panther eclipses the joy in your new job heart, that's saying
It-
something. It is a culture.
but I guarantee it won't last long. I mean, eventually it will eclipse Black Panther, but it's so fresh in my mind. So um,
Sure.
I'm still feeling a little euphoria from it and thinking about um, when I will see it again because I will see it in the theater one more again. And then after that, I'm not going to the theater anymore to see it. Um, and then I'm just going to watch it when it comes on TV,
Oh, yeah.
paid TV. I'm going to watch it countless times. So, anyway, that's my high. And I know we usually start with a low, but I was so excited. I just wanted to talk about that shit. So, um, my low, there's so many things I could think of. Um, I ain't gonna let none of it touch my Black Panther / new job joy, but um, I am disgusted at the responses I've seen. One to Black Panther, people are doing too much. If you voted like you went to see Black Panther, Donald Trump wouldn't be president. A, yes, he would, and B, shut up. Um, and then they should take some of that money and donate it to Black causes. I mean, if they did, that'd be nice, but they don't have to. Must you? Must we try to ruin every fucking glorious thing we have? Must we? Just let people be joyful. Let them have things. My grandmother used to say that when my dad was little, um, she asked him to say grace at the dinner table one day. And his prayer, this is so ignorant, had nothing to do with the food. His prayer was, Lord, just help us to have things. And
I mean,
every I'm not mad at the prayer.
no.
He wasn't shit as a child or an adult, but um I felt him on that, and I hear that in my head whenever I see someone coming and trying to pour salt all over the joy, the happiness. And so just let us have things. Let us be happy. Let us enjoy some shit. And don't bring up some who didn't vote and who if you gone to the polls and you if you take all that money and use it to invest in some CDs for your baby, I bet your kids would have something. Shut the fuck up. Let people have with some happiness, some joy.
Mm.
A good ass movie came out. It had multi layers in it, enough for discussion to last for weeks and maybe even months. And let people have it. Shit. And then my other low is people's response to the student protesters from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High in Florida. There was a school shooting, and the kids are like, we're not with the shit. So a lot of the students are protesting, and some of them met with that raggedy man in the White House today, and he had to have cue cards to be able to have some kind of conversation with them because he's stupid. But I've seen a lot of people like trying to disparage the children
Mm-hmm.
to try to further their cause, to be pro gun. And I'm like, you're disgusting when you try to go off kids who are fresh off trauma. They just saw 17 people murdered, and you're trying to thwart their efforts to seek ways to prevent some shit like that from ever happening again. So you're just a disgusting human if you are one of those people. I look at that. It looks like the kid's rehearsing his lines. Who doesn't rehearse lines to go on TV for an interview or at least try to pull it together? This is a podcast. We do shit that's off the cuff, but there is not a week that goes by that I don't have notes, that I don't think about what I'm going to talk about for a podcast. So, of course, I would do the same thing if I was going to be interviewed on some national level. So,
Right.
anyway, the shooting itself was bad enough, but just the responses and the discouragement these kids are receiving in regards to their righteous and well earned activism is this bit has pissed me off. It's stupid. I don't like it. So anyway, that's my low.
All right. Word.
Or those are my lows. I guess that was too low.
My low, of course, it actually, yes, the school shooting and the responses to it. I've actually seen people say that they have a planned walkout on April 20th,
Yeah.
and that it's really just an excuse to have 420 off.
Oh my gosh.
I have seen more than one person say that, and I actually responded to one, and I was like, since when have high school students ever needed a national movement to disguise cutting school?
Right.
When that makes absolutely no sense and is so disrespectful. And I am very proud of, as much as one can be for some kids you don't know,
Yeah.
of these kids for using their voices, because you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Kids in this country have been waiting for us, the adults, to do something for decades now, and we haven't done shit.
Not a damn thing.
So if it takes, I mean, I can understand where they're just like, well, listen, let's just go and tell some people some stuff, because obviously these adults aren't doing it right. So yeah, but the whole thing has just been terrible and gross and made me hate people. And yeah, it's been terrible. But my true low is related to Black Panther, and you touched on this, just the responses to it and how we can't ever just have a moment of joy. Why we can't just be awash in everything that was beautiful and amazing about that movie, I don't know. But I will tell you, the first time I saw someone do that voting thing, y'all can go see Black Panther, but y'all can't go to the polls. I wanted to light everything on fire. I really did. But then, because the Lord knows his work, came across this, and as usual, there'll be a link on the show page, that there have been some people doing voter registrations at Black Panther screenings. Yeah, the movie, it's Electoral Justice Project is organizing Wakanda the Vote.
Oh my God.
That encourages moviegoers to register to vote at Black Panther screenings across the country. So I'm actually in a Black Panther movie group, and someone said, what do you do when you see these posts and people are, equating Black Panther, going to see Black Panther, with the lack of people turning out at the polls? And I said, I hit them with this and posted the link. And I'm appreciative of these folks' work. And I'm appreciative that they made the connection in a positive way.
Right.
Like, you know what? This is going to be a captured audience. And maybe some of these people aren't already registered voters, and they're going to come out high from this. What better time high and hopeful, what better time to register some folks to vote? So that the whole kind of Black Panther backlash is my low, but it was saved by that movement. My high, I just saw this today, so it's super fresh. I haven't seen many people talking about it, so I don't know what I'm supposed to think. I haven't seen Black Twitter or whatever opinion. I don't know what the Black consensus is. But I watched Drake's video, God's Plan. And I'm not a Drake fan. I'm not even a hip hop fan, really. Some people would say those are mutually exclusive anyway.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but the video is just, he took the budget for the video, or the lion's share of the budget for the video, and gave that money to people. And that's the video, him giving money to people who weren't expecting it, didn't know. I mean, to people, to schools, to kids organizations, to families. And while I am not one for a whole lot of public, look at the good I'm doing.
Right.
I don't know how they staged it, but like they had, for instance, it was a mother and a son, and they were sitting on a low brick wall. It's like maybe they knew they were being filmed or going to be in something, but they didn't know that it was Drake, or they didn't know that they were going to see him. So in each set with people or a person, in each scene, they're sitting there, they're standing there, and then he just kind of creeps up, and they turn around, and then everybody freaks out. And he hands this woman and her teenage son a fat stack of cash, and they just burst into tears. And that happened a few times where he gives somebody money and they just start crying, which then I just started crying, because I don't care about, I mean, it's great that he did that, but what was meaningful to me was watching these people and their gratitude, and thinking about and when I say a fat stack of cash, I mean a fat stack of cash. He gave one woman $40,000. He gave a young Black man a new car. I don't know any of the backstories. We don't get to know very many of the backstories, but it was one of the most touching things I have seen in I don't know how long. And I probably was watching it for 30 seconds the first time my eyes welled up. It's so lovely. Again, not to focus on him. If you're like, wow, Drake, or he shouldn't have filmed this. Okay. But you can watch it just for the pure reactions of these people, and the beauty in knowing that in some ways small and in some ways large, these people's lives were changed in that moment. It's so lovely. So that was my high. And also Black Panther was, of course, my high. And I saw it Saturday, went to see it again Monday, because my Saturday showing wasn't sold out. And like a fool, I thought I would just slide in on Monday. Wrong. All those shits were sold out. So unless I wanted to go at like 10, and come on, that's not.
Yeah, we saw someone trying to get in when we went on Sunday, and the person behind the counter was like, "Yeah, there's nothing available until 11 p.m."
Yeah. It was, and I was like, wait, I'm looking at my Fandango app, right? I was like, oh no, this must be, let me go back out and come back in. This is
refresh.
Go back out, right? Go back out, come back in. Because I'm looking at it. Go back out, come back. Huh? At least twice, it was like, okay, word, we got some seats available, but they were all handicap seats. And so I was like, so does this mean I can sit there though? I guess this means I can sit there. Click. By making this selection, you verify that you or the person that you're with has been certified as, oh,
damn it.
Back out. So I haven't seen my second necessary viewing again, but I'm gonna probably this weekend. That's my highs and lows.
Woo woo. That's a cool thing Drake did. I obviously haven't seen the video because, one, I don't really watch videos, and two, Drake gets on my nerve. But I think that's dope.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I don't watch videos, but Very Smart Brothers Panama wrote about it. And for some reason, their posts are showing up in my feed again. So I saw it and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And consulted the Googles, and the Googles showed me the beauty of it. Yes.
That's a good thing. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's so.
I don't always love public health, but I do
Right.
Appreciate people being helped out of a bind.
Oh my gosh.
With seemingly no strings attached, just
right.
Let me do this thing for you because you need it.
Because you could.
I remember back in the day, my friend had, her children were small, 3 children, pretty close together in age. And she was getting WIC at the time. So even though 3 kids can sure eat up a lot of cereal and milk and all the shit, she would still have extra at times. She'd be like, they're little, they can only eat so much. So sometimes I'd come over and she'd be like, oh, you getting ready to leave? Take this dozen eggs or take this milk. And I'd be like, nah, that's for the babies. And she'd just be like, let me bless you. And I just let me. Oh, okay. Well, let me put this shit in my bag and I'll see you later.
Okay.
But I think there's something to be said for letting somebody be good to you, be kind to you. So that's cool. I'm glad that he helped a bunch of people who clearly needed it.
Yep.
That's
and like I said, it ran the gamut: individuals, families, organizations, educational institutions. It just it touched my heart. I think so much.
That makes for a better video than maybe just you standing in a club with a drink in your hand and hella people dancing in the background and you driving a fancy car or any of the other typical things that happen in music videos. So,
or in some kind of illuminated square in your Cosby sweater doing awkward dance moves,
I never see that again. I don't ever need to see it again. So, today, much to the chagrin of our producer, Bren Inman, I went ahead and called him.
Turn on the mic just so he can protest. It's not true.
It's hella true. Today, we're going to be talking about sensuality of Black women, how it's perceived, how we're perceived, how do we think of ourselves. So today we're talking, does this blowjob make me look like a hoe? Hey, fellow tacklers. We thank you so much for listening to our show. If you're interested in supporting us, we would be ever so grateful. You can donate to the Tackling Tomfoolery podcast at patreon.com/Tackling Tomfoolery.
Short answer?
Short answer, absolutely not. You look good, girl. That blowjob got you looking good.
Get your blow up. The glow up from the blow up.
Have you seen her with her blow up, girl? Got her skin all clear and shit. She lost 10 pounds.
She just smiling.
Food tastes better. Sun shines brighter.
You been hella nice.
So,
look, girl, my stylist gave me a discount. Girl, what happened? You been going to her for a while? I mean, I've been going for a minute, but girl, it was a blow up. Girl.
Let it change your life.
Okay. Let it move you.
Let it bless you. So I do want to start with a story that I think kind of sums up um, the early stages in like the teens and 20s, and even in the tweens of how sex and sexuality and sensuality is perceived. So this was maybe, let's say 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Chilling with some friends, and a dude says, "Hey, did you guys know I used to date so and so, someone we all knew, woman we all knew?" And so I said, "Oh no, I didn't know that." He's like, "Oh yeah, it was a really really long time ago when we dated." "Oh, okay, cool." And he's like, "I have a picture of her sucking my dick."
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me preface. He didn't tell me that in advance. He just said, "I have pictures from when we used to date."
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking he's going to pull out just pictures of, "Look at us, we're at Santa Cruz on the beach.
San Francisco.
Yeah, look at us eating some dinner." And then we would all chuckle because it was so long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and so many things had happened for both of them since then, and they were not thinking of each other. So I just thought it was going to be something funny. And he pulled out the phone, and there was a picture of her giving him a blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
And first I screamed and threw the phone and ran from the room because I was not expecting that. I wasn't ready.
Ready?
I don't know how one gets ready for that. But and I just remember saying I would never be caught on film or in a photo with a dick in my mouth. Like no one will ever know. Like I can die at 99 and no one will ever know for sure if I have ever sucked a dick. I mean, they can make some assumptions. I might even say I did, but you ain't got no proof it happened, right? And I didn't think there was anything wrong with what she did, but I just felt like, "Oh, girl, you let this fool play you. He's got these pictures you dated 10 years ago, and he still got these pictures of you."
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking, what shame she must feel if she knows he still has these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What was she thinking letting him take these pictures? Doesn't she know how things go and how dudes get petty and bitter, and they will put your business out there like that? And when I was thinking about that today, because I was thinking about this topic, even though he is foul for that, and even though he should have been deleted those pictures right after they stopped dating, he's bootsy as fuck for that. Um, I started thinking maybe I'm lightweight bootsy for my response. Like I feel like I only should have been mad at him for still having the pictures, and I was mad at him for having the pictures. Let me just say that I was, but I was in my head chastising her for even letting it go down, not for blowing him, but for being photographed doing it. And I just thought, nah, like I'm out of pocket. I should it my anger should end at him being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with what she did. There's nothing wrong if they felt experimental and took pictures of that shit for prosperity or what the fuck ever they wanted to look at it later and think, that was a good night. There's nothing really wrong with any of that. There's nothing wrong with there being footage or a picture or whatever of a woman doing whatever it was she felt like doing that day. Um, the only thing wrong is the raggedy man who takes it and weaponizes her sexuality and uses it against her. That's the only thing that was wrong. So I had to kind of check myself, like, um, and remind myself that's not what the issue is. She was not the issue. So I guess I brought that up just kind of like to get into the ideas of the ways we um, sort of shame ourselves, shame each other,
Mm,
judge ourselves, judge others,
no,
and don't allow ourselves to be who we are without feeling dirty or sorry or whatever about it.
yeah, I've seen. So I know we're going to talk about this. I've seen some responses to the Black China videos, right?
Oh, indeed, yes.
And one of the in a small group that I'm in, one of the women who said, I don't understand why she would ever allow that. I
Oh my
can't
God.
imagine
Mm.
taping my bedroom activities or something demure along those lines. And I said, you know, the problem is that she trusted someone when she
Exactly.
did that, and her trust was violated. And even though, I mean, I understand certainly when I was younger and first sexually active, no one admitted to second it.
Absolutely not,
No one.
because only
I
hoes did that.
right. I can't say who all was doing it. I just know no one was talking about it. And I don't even remember when it became kind of sort of okay. But we're in a time now where there's nothing taboo, really, about blowjobs. Everybody watches porn. Everybody's got opinions on who in porn gives good. That's how it's. Oh my God! And yet, so there are these. The only thing that's changed is publicly the expectations are if you're going to do it, you better do an amazing job, better.
And you have to make sure that whoever you're blowing is your longtime boyfriend
Well,
or
hold on.
some super wealthy fool from whom you're going to come up for providing um, said blowjob. Because even in this day and age, it's still a one. Black China's being judged for how she gave head. That wasn't a very good job, right? There's that. And then, her head game is weak. But then it's also, I mean, who is this fool's dick she's sucking? He ain't even nobody. There's that. Like, why would you waste head on just some nobody? Like, what do you get out of it? As if the sex itself, the whatever that turns both people on isn't enough. There has to be something else, or else why would a woman blow a man?
Well, of the reverse is this whole post where this chick goes off and is like, y'all out there talking about how Black China gives lazy head and she don't suck dick right, but Black China got millions and cars and houses and diamonds, so somebody wants her. Meanwhile, you got a nigga that don't have a job and you giving him money and his dick is all in your larynx. So what can you say? You giving premium head to a motherfucker that ain't doing shit for you. China can be as lazy as she wants to, but she's getting something for hers. What you doing? Stop criticizing her. And this whole idea of monetizing
Yep.
my sex is just so obnoxious to me. First of all, I takes care of me and only me. I don't take care of no Negroes. No Negroes take care of me. And second of all, if what we're supposed to be doing is being sexually free and able to do what we want to do with whom we want to do it, what they have or don't have monetarily, as long as they have their own home and the ability to take care of themselves, is neither here nor there. I'm not, like I said, I'm just not monetizing my shit. So if I want somebody's, listen, If I want a dick all up in my lungs,
Yeah.
money, that's my business because that's what I wanted to do and that's who I wanted
Right.
to do it with. And it's not of less value or more value if he then in turn does a little something for me.
Right.
It's not, sex is an exchange to me, attraction of desire, etc., an outlet. It's not a business deal. And if we
Although
are
it
really,
can be,
it,
but not from you. Not for you.
not for me.
It's not for
I'm
me.
not bartering it. I'm not exchanging.
Yeah.
It is what I want to do because that's what I'm feeling for you. That's how I feel. Um, just the whole philosophy. So first, if you're going to do it, you should be getting something out of it. Otherwise, you're stupid. And also, if you're going to do it, you shouldn't let anybody tape you. But definitely, you should be doing it because if you don't do it, what's wrong with you? Who's out there not doing it?
Right.
What kind of prude? How do you expect to keep a man? What the? But the,
Right. It's a whole can't win for losing
yeah.
thing. Like I saw this meme today. Let me see if I can find that thing so I can have the exact verbiage. And I did laugh hard at it because it it's true, but I feel like it also speaks to like a bigger issue. I think I might have sent it to you today. Okay, so it's a picture of a woman's hand, and on her ring finger is the crying Jordan face,
Oh
which never
wow.
stops being funny to me. Um. Anyway, so it says, fix his plate, suck his dick every day, give him your paycheck, let him drive your car. Whole time, finger light, hand with the gift. And I mean, the reason I laughed at it is because there are those women who are like, you know, if you don't do this for your man, you're not a good woman. And then there are men who parrot that ideology, right? This is how you get, if a woman is looking to marry, right? This is how you get that ring. You know, you do all these things and then you get this ring. When any woman who's known at least one man knows that
Right.
you can do all those fucking things and that fool will not propose to you and probably will marry the next broad he dates right after you. So I laughed because that shit really happens, but I also was kind of sad because I wish we didn't dole out our sexuality and our sensuality based on the hopes a dude is going to propose to us. I wish we didn't do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to get married. There's nothing wrong with wanting to marry a specific guy or, being in love and hoping the relationship. Nothing wrong with any of that. It's just there is something wrong with using your sexuality to try to force that to happen or manipulate that into happening. Because to me, sex should be what you want, not what you want in order to get someone to do a thing. Um, unless you're talking about like prostitution, which is a very different story to me. But to me, anything outside of sex work, when it's just on a personal level, I just don't feel like women should waste, or men for that matter, should waste their sexuality on trying to manipulate somebody into doing something, into being with them, into being nicer to them, into maybe taking their relationship public, into making a commitment, into proposing, into marriage or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even like it when it's a marriage or a long term monogamous relationship and women are like, if I blow him just right, he'll get me that vacuum cleaner
Yeah.
I asked for.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. Stop wasting your pussy on bullshit. If you are going to have sex, have that shit because you want it and for no other reason other than you want it. You want to feel good. You want to make your partner feel good. Y'all want to end in a happy ass, sweaty ass, keep smiling or giggling or snoring or hungry or whatever. Let that be the reason. Stop buying into these dumbass ideas of using your body, wasting your body, trying to get something. The only thing I feel like we should be trying to get is a nut. Like, we're here to make each other feel good. Like, that should be the goal, not me trying to ingratiate myself in some kind of way. Um, but on the other hand, I feel like sometimes women don't really feel free to even think that way. It's almost like we're taught to believe all of our sex should have some kind of special purpose too.
Most definitely. And, I've never thought about the vagina as a means to a marital end. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Haven't really thought about it that in that linear of a fashion. But most definitely, if you're going to be an adult and you're going to be sexually active, you really aren't, and I am speaking specifically, I think, to Black women and Black women who consider themselves, how to say this, of a certain character, a certain caliber, right?
Yeah.
You can't be out here just fucking for the sake.
Mm.
You want to get married, you want to have the kids, you want the package.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there are also those women who are not or have a difficult time being sexually involved if there aren't strong emotions attached.
Mm-hmm.
I have to feel
Right.
about someone before I can. And I really wish that we would really begin the process of divesting ourselves from that being our narrative. If that's genuinely who you are, that's fine. But I do believe that we're sold that kind of and we buy into it
Mm-hmm.
until we believe, we just,
Right.
it's a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, we're told from very early on that we're emotionally attached whenever we have sex. We're leaving something special with this
Yeah.
partner.
Every man you sleep with leaves some of himself in you.
Gosh.
All of that kind of stuff. I just wish that really and truly we had the kind of freedom that we deserve and that women understood that sometimes it's not just men. We keep ourselves from that too. Like you said this earlier, we shame ourselves, we burden ourselves, we invest in respectability and patriarchy unwittingly often, but very, very deeply. And to me, I'd say one of the best things that has come out of my divorce and all of these ensuing single years, because I've been single for a long time now, is being single at a time and an age wherein it wasn't super difficult for me to give myself permission to do what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do that, I mean, not always with success, but often with success, to be able to do that unapologetically for myself and feel fully actualized as a sexual being, as a woman, as a Black woman, and not feel shamed by it has been a gift. And I really would wish it for everyone, definitely not in the path that I took, but and so when something like what happens to Black China happens, you got all these young women seeing that and seeing her being shamed because it's always the woman. I don't care whose sex tape it is. It's always the woman.
Yep.
I really would like us to start talking to our young women about this kind of thing and about their sexual agency and what it means and what it doesn't mean. And certainly I don't mean, I really hope we would tell our girls to go on out and be fucking whomever and whenever and whatever.
Right.
Girl, go on and get yours.
Have zero discretion.
Right. Oh, and can I just say, I really want motherfuckers to stop talking about walls. Can I say that? I had no walls.
I did. Well, I was going to bring up walls in my shout out, but and I still am. Just be prepared for it. But yes, I agree with you because I'm going to be talking about it as a joke, not as seriousness, which irritates me. Walls and edges, although
I'm tired of edges too. Edges is a real thing, but I'm still tired of talking about it.
I agree.
I was in this group and somebody posted what makes a woman bad in bed or something like that. I really want to express to you how many men and women answered no walls.
Oh my God. First of all, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as no walls, you idiot. If you feel like you penetrate a woman and you're sort of flailing around in there, it's because your fucking dick's small. Let's just be honest.
Because I don't know how you would get loose enough so that there's no traction. There's no grippings.
I mean, I realize everybody might not be up on their Kegel game, and get up on it just for because you don't want things to happen to you. And I don't even just mean sexually. You don't want your pee to just start slipping out of your urethra.
You do not.
But even if a woman had ever done a Kegel, there's no such thing as no walls. There's no such thing. And when people say, it didn't feel as tight as I like, that's because you didn't have enough dick. How about that? Have a good day, fucker. Anyway, or non-fucker, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I hate it. No wall. And women buy into that shit. We let men pump our heads up with all manner of fuckery.
Like just so that our own bodies or just so
we can feel like we're separate and above other women. Well, I'm not that type of bitch because my walls are immaculate. I'm not that kind of bitch because I sucked but 2 dicks and I was married to those dicks. I'm not like that because I saved myself for marriage. I'm not like that because, whatever reason, I got this list of 27 criteria before I'll even think about sleeping with a man. We buy into anything that will make us feel like we're somehow special or better. And at the end of it all that bullshit and thinking you separate and better and special, you still got the crying Jordan emoji on your ring finger. So go on with the bullshit, baby D. Go on now. You brought this up, but I did want to talk about when you stop feeling any kind of level of shame or feeling like you should feel shame if you didn't regarding your sexuality. And you did bring it up in regards to it being sort of post-divorce. And my divorce. Wait, let me bang my glass because I got one. Ting, ting, ting. Y'all can't hear it, but whatever.
It was
Hashtag.
before that, but the everything came together
Mm-hmm.
at that time. But
That's hashtag the best man for those of you who did not get that reference. Shame on you if you didn't get it.
no, it was that's brown sugar.
Brown sugar, it is.
Mhm.
That's when he was in the restaurant and she was in there with that man at dinner, and he came
With
in
her
there
titties out,
and
all
sat
cleavage
down
and whatnot.
with her and her date and was like, "Oh, what it do? Like, what's going on in here? Y'all just having some snack?"
Hi, Charles, or whatever his name was. Mhm.
How
Can
just
I
how you on a date and you got a whole husband at the house,
get
not
some
across
champagne?
town, not out of the
Celebrate.
state. You got a whole husband at home, heifer, and on a date. What do you?
She
Yeah,
just sitting there with her face cracked.
we're celebrating. What are we celebrating? My
Bing.
divorce. Um, he didn't have to sing it like that, but anyway.
It's such a classic moment. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. He's a fool.
Poor Dre, he was having a rough day.
Yeah, it was.
It was not the best day he had ever had. I would not like to walk up on my husband on a date. I would
At all.
I mean, it would have been a very different scene had that been me, because I probably would have burned down the restaurant.
Me too. He did well. Give it one.
Yeah, and the fire, the where do they, when the firefighters come after the fact, they're investigating, and they would have found that the source of the fire was
Was you.
the source. It started here in the man's crotch, and then it just fanned out to the rest of the restaurant. But I know for me, in terms of not feeling the shame of being sexual, um, based on social mores and like religious upbringing and all of that, I don't think I got to that point until probably about, I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm.
So I was in my 30s. Yeah, late 30s. It didn't stop me, leading up to that from doing whatever I was doing. But there was always like the title of this show, does this blowjob make me look like a hoe? There was always some, oh, I hope that doesn't mean that people will think I'm A, B, or C because I did this, or I hope he doesn't think I'm whatever because I hooked up with him. I hope my friends don't think because I told them what went down. So it took until, about 5 years ago, I'd say, for me to realize that I didn't need to give a fuck.
Mm.
And that my sexuality belongs to me. And not anybody else. Nobody else can regulate it. Nobody else can speak to it. Nobody else can control it. Nobody else can judge it. And it doesn't matter if they try to say some words, their words are irrelevant. It took me a long time to get to that point. And even now, in the, parameters of a relationship, I still sometimes have to remind myself of that. I mean, I don't feel any shame about my sexual history or my sexuality or any of that with my partner. And we trade hoe stories all the time and get weak off the shit that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times, or have been times, where I've been like, I might want to try such and such tonight, because when I tried that one time, that shit was awesome. Well, I don't know. If I do that, he might be like, what kind of hoe shit is that? There have been times I thought that and I held back, or I'm like, well, maybe I just will keep that to myself. And so just recently, I had to remind myself that, listen, we stuck together. Like, we have pretty much agreed that we gonna ride this thing out until one of us is dead. So why would I not pull out all the whole stop? Why wouldn't I? Um, so I had to get myself together. But there are times when that whole lifetime and upbringing of shame regarding my sexuality um, pops up still, even though
Mm.
I think I've mostly gotten past it. Every now and then it sort of rears its head, and I'm like, oh, you again. And then I start doubting and thinking, maybe I shouldn't have, or maybe I won't do that, or maybe I won't wear that, or maybe I won't say this, um, maybe I won't ask to try this because I'm thinking, well, that's what certain people do, and I don't want it to be misunderstood. But the older I get, the more I'm, like 98.99% gonna do what the fuck I want to do
Yeah.
and not feel sorry for it or ashamed of it.
I was just thinking there are some things, as much as I do whatever my black ass wants to do, there are some things, like let's say being recorded.
Yeah,
First of all, I don't want to be recorded having sex. I don't want to see myself on camera having sex because I don't want to see them fat rolls. I don't want to see the reality of it. It will get in my head.
mm-hmm.
And then every time moving forward, oh, not that position. I remember
Yeah.
what that looked like. That would be a mess. I don't want that.
Coming to bed with an
But
overcoat and flannel
okay,
pajamas.
okay, girl,
Yeah.
why you still gonna listen? Don't worry about it. Cut off all the lights, all the lights,
And then close your eyes.
right? And it wouldn't be like look.
Like Lady Eloise and Marcus.
Can you make it a little bit darker? And it's pitch black. I don't need those troubles. So that's not something that I can imagine doing for vanity's sake. But let's say, for the sake of example, being recorded doing something else, being recorded giving someone a blowjob. I would be lying if I did not say there's a part of me that would be a little pearl clutchy about that
Yeah.
and a little questioning. Does this recorded blowjob make me look like a hoe?
Yep.
And what would happen and what would I feel if somehow this got put on the internet? Because that's everyone's fear, right? There's a place where all of the revenge porn goes, I guess, on the internet. And, sometimes there are certain things that I have not done, but would do,
Yeah.
but am given pause because, well, wait a minute though. What does this mean about me? What does it say about me? And is he with the shits because he's with the shits? Or is he with the shits because I might be stupid enough to do the shits?
Right.
I might get played. Am I being played right now sexually? So even for someone who would consider themselves somewhat evolved, the sexual landscape is still, has maybe a landmine or two
Mm-hmm.
in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, I am always trying to check in with myself to make sure I'm being true to myself, to shed old isms, but also to make sure I'm not just, because there's also that way where you be like, I do what I want. And then you might go over a little too far to the left,
Yep. Yep.
I don't want to do that either. And I mean, that is a thing when you give yourself permission. You still got to understand what your own personal parameters are within the permission. So,
right. I agree. And I mean, pretty much for the same reasons as you, there will be no recordings of me.
Mm-mm.
And there might come a time in my life where I'm in my best shape ever and maybe at that point, um, I might be like, well, go on, turn on that video. I don't care. But today, hell no. I don't even want an audio because I'd be like, I sound fat in that part. So I don't want it. That's not even.
I hate it when you sound fat on the audio.
I don't want it.
Gosh.
I'm not ready for that. But
you know what? I feel like I could be fit and still not like it. Hey, what?
Right.
What's that? What's that in my armpit? Oh shit! That's my titty. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You know, just little quirky thing. I don't. I can't see.
I don't. I could see me filming, maybe leading up to it, some role play or some shit, but the actual act, I'm not in that place. That is not where I am located, but I'm not mad at anybody who does it. I'm just mad at the assholes who make it public. Yeah. That's disgusting to me.
And really, what kind of idiot does that? Mm-hmm. Who violates someone like that? Because I can't imagine. I mean, that's just what it is. It is a violation of everything.
It is.
Privacy, trust.
I feel like it's an assault.
It really is.
I feel like it is.
It really is. It's a betrayal.
Yeah. I don't.
Everything is bad.
Yeah.
About it, because apparently at one point I felt a way about you, and I trusted you enough that I was going to give it to. I was going to give you all of this goodness, and in return, you are going to share the goodness that I gave with you on film with everybody. Because so I saw 2 little Black China excerpts. They were all over Instagram.
Oh gosh.
All over Instagram.
That's terrible.
I don't know how. And I saw it because I saw one person talking about it in my feed, and I was like, huh? So I hustled over to the gram real quick and, did the search. And literally when I pulled it up, I could just scroll the same 2 clips, scroll. And I thought when I saw it, oh my God, how must she feel right now?
It's so awful.
Whether or not she cares that people see her doing what she's doing, notwithstanding, how must she feel that once again, because remember, first it was that Rob Kardashian shit.
Yep.
The pictures.
Yep.
Once again, somebody foul put her totally and completely on blast. I don't know. When we talk about toxic masculinity and misogynoir, because I always have to say it like that.
Oh my gosh, the word makes me so mad. I know why it. I know why it exists, and I still.
Me too,
but yeah,
I'm getting more accustomed to it, but I still don't love it, and I still always.
I get less mad when I read it. When people say it out loud, that's when I want to punch a wall.
That's why I have to put the flair on it.
I know it feels necessary, doesn't it?
It does.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, super French it up.
Oh. Anyway.
You're terrible, Jax. I do terrible in any kind of accent, so let me stop.
The French people are about to come for us.
Why y'all being stereotypical?
Because
that sound terrible. That's not how French people sound at all.
That's why it's funny, fool.
What's the French word for the N-word?
Ooh.
What's the French? Blanc. Wait, no, it's not blanc. It's noir. Noir is black. That's just black.
Yeah, that's not the same.
No.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Bren, do you know? You be knowing shit and random shit. You don't know?
He's over there refusing to even Google that shit. You don't want that to come up in
He
his
doesn't want it to come up in his search bar.
He's like, I'm hella white. I don't want this coming up in my search history when I go to meet my maker. They're gonna be like, it says here that on February 21st, 2018, you was Googling the French word for nigga. And and it's gonna be a problem.
Sir, we're going to need you to step back into the elevator. Wait, you just take a step back. Down.
Mhm. Can you just
Sorry,
squeeze,
Bren.
can you just squeeze the sponge onto my tongue?
Sir, we're going to need you to relinquish your clothes and step back into the elevator. Why am I naked?
Oh my gosh.
Clothing's going to be unnecessary. Here's some SPF 75. Good luck and God bless.
How about I Googled that shit and it says nigga?
Really?
Now I can't stop
You
laughing.
mean I
It's
can't
so
even go to
ignorant.
France and not get
No.
called?
No. Yeah, they will call you that there too.
At least I'll recognize it.
Greek, same thing. Arabic, same.
Okay, so they just have different slurs for Black people that aren't that particular word. Is what
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's
what
what
I
it is.
feel is.
I mean, there are, because it just gave me a list of like 30 different languages where I could look it up to see what the translation is. I looked up for Vietnamese and it just said nigga. I'm so mad right now. I don't even really use that word on this podcast, but now I'm tickled. That's so funny. Well, it's funny and also sad because no matter where we go, we steal that.
Right?
That's some old bullshit.
I mean,
Tells a
damn
story.
it.
That's a whole other podcast, though.
It really is a whole other topic.
Anyway,
Go where we won't get called nigga. Answer: no.
death, the grave, the crematorium. That's where you could go. Oh, I do have one last question before kind of wrapping this up. Question for you as a mother of an adult daughter. How did you broach this subject with your daughter? I already know the gist of the kind of conversations you had with her regarding sex and sexual agency and, that kind of stuff. But when it came to, talking about how we are perceived regarding our sexuality or how people describe some people, a girl as a good girl because she's hasn't had sex with anybody, but if you've had sex with somebody, you're a hoe. Did you have those kinds of conversations with her when she was younger?
Not that I recall. I don't remember having conversations with her about perceptions and if you do this, people might think this, or if you do this, people might think this, but that's okay because it's your business and your life. I really focused on, in the early stages, trying to get her to make good choices. You know what I mean? And to not feel that in this classic way that moms, I think, do, not feel that she had to because someone said she had to, because she to not feel that she needed to have sex to validate someone. If you love me, have sex with me.
Right.
And also to not do it in order to keep a boy from not doing it with someone else. If I don't, then Sharika and such and such and such. No, none of that.
Girl, let her.
When she got older, we did have conversations about, being sexually active and not in a relationship. And what that looks like, what your personal comfort level is with that, and giving yourself permission to do what you want to do in a way that feels respectful to yourself and true to who you are. We did have some conversations about that, but I admit it got harder to a degree because there is even when you have crafted a solid relationship, at least in my experience, with your child, and it's communicative and they know they can come to you and they do, there's a period of time where they are life, you know, their interior life, and they don't tell you everything, right? So you have given your pearls of wisdom and you've reiterated it, you've repeated it, and you know, she was coming of age and I was single. So I was doing my thing while she was trying to navigate doing her thing, right? Um so now that she's grown, and we kind of circle back around, there were things that she went through that I didn't know and I couldn't advise her on. And that as much as we'd had conversations about certain things, some of that did not penetrate in the way that I wanted it to. You know what I mean? So I think, not to divulge her confidences or tell her business, she had to find her own path. I gave her as much as I could give her, right? But college parties and drinking and sororities and fraternities and all of it. And I want to say, and I know people are going to get pissed at this, but I'm sorry, I believe it's true. There's a cultural element of Greek life that I think is somewhat problematic in terms of sex. And I will point to Burning Sands as a really good example of that. The way that women are viewed, as arm pieces and accessories, and the way that sleeping with various women is just a thing that frat dudes do because they're in frats and they're highly sought after and blah, 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 blah. So there was shit she was navigating and trying to figure out. I had no clue of. I am very grateful that she did a good job, but it's also a little sad for me because I would have liked to have been more helpful,
Right.
But folks got to learn. You can do all and say all, but eventually I had to learn my own lessons my way. Sans all of the talk and communication and upfrontness from my mom, because that's not how we did the thing.
Yeah.
And she has had to figure her own stuff out. So that's the long answer, Malika, to your short
I like the long answer. Hashtag Family Feud. Good answer.
It's not on the board. No ding, ding, ding. Just a big red X.
So, to wrap this up, y'all, no, that blowjob does not make you look like a hoe. I said that.
It does not.
And I'm saying it now. That blowjob does not make you look like a hoe.
Get your lives. Do you?
Oh, absolutely. And
or don't. If you don't listen. Also, if you don't want to do the blowjobs, don't. But not because it makes you look like a hoe, just because that's not your thing.
Don't wanna.
Your gag reflex is trash, and
your jaw's tired.
You don't like penises in your face, and whatever it is.
Your wisdom teeth are set up.
Okay.
So my left molar. Anyway, to shout out.
Shout out.
I think we have some similar shout outs here.
We might.
I'm gonna come on back to Black Panther. In general, I'm going to shout out Black Beauty and preface that with it doesn't only apply to people who are widely seen as attractive. Because Black beauty to me is more than just who a bunch of people think is fine, right? Um, but there was beauty in that film, and not just the standard traditional kind of so and so is good looking, but beauty in the relationships, in the conversation, in the ideologies, in the dress, in the hair, in the skin. There was beauty there. And to me, even Forrest Whitaker was beautiful, but not in that standard way, because that man ain't fine to me at all. But there was a beauty in his character, and it was decidedly Black. So, um, in general, my shout outs to Black beauty, and not just in Black Panther, but just in what I see every day. I see beautiful ass Black people every day, every day. Um, and then my specific shout out is to Winston Duke, because Jesus. Um, uh, listen, I how dare he be
Lord.
on that throne looking all thick and wonderful and ready to be climbed. How dare? How dare he? Um, and me not know him. So,
look like a quarter pounder with the special sauce.
oh, and cheese, because I like my quarter pounder with
I do too.
girl. I don't eat beef anymore. But when
So
I did,
beautiful.
a quarter pounder with cheese was the business to me. And yes, indeed, he did look like that. Maybe even a double quarter pounder.
Man.
It was oh, the filth I had to keep to myself because I did not see it the first time
Man.
alone. But God bless him. And God did bless him. All the gods. I oh,
Why is
but
he
anyway.
5? He's 6. So first I was like, ooh, he's thick. And then after the movie, I was like, yeah, he's 6. I read and they were like, he's 6'5". Now,
yes.
I particularly like a tall man, but and then brother he doesn't have to be tall, but I do find that delicious. And he's thick and tall, and the beard, and it's just
there were so many things to bath.
It's so much, and
and I
don't
just
even have all the right language for it. He's just
all I know is I have lust in my heart.
Where was his queen at?
I don't feel bad.
Copy his queen to be.
I don't. Well, she's your queen too.
I was going to, but I didn't want to hurt the people with it. So
he hurt the people with it when he sang it in Coming to America. But yeah. Anyway, Black Beauty, and it is Black History Month, so blackness and
I don't know when we're gonna have another Black History Month like this. This shit is epic and peak.
I wonder if it can be topped or at least met in February of 2019. I hope it is met. I have enjoyed this Black History Month, and not just because of that movie. I've been Instagramming and trying to be as Black as I can, but because I cannot really commit to Instagram, I've gone 7 days without posting my daily Blackness. But I have saved all the photographic and video evidence of it, and I'll post it all together. But yeah, ooh-wee, Winston, how you doing? Ooh.
So delightful. So, okay. My shout out is to Charles Blow and his tweet that neatly encapsulates something that I have been thinking and have said from time to time for a while now. And he tweeted this on Valentine's Day. He said, I need to see a straightforward documentary that juxtaposes media coverage and politician responses to the opioid epidemic affecting mostly white people and the crack epidemic affecting mostly. This is one of the clearest examples of the racialized valuation gap. And if he did not neatly and completely summarize a real serious truth,
Yeah.
I don't know what he did. The shit is true. And I appreciate him for saying it so concisely and for calling that out, because I know a lot of people are thinking that. I haven't heard, and this is just me because the Twitters, I'm not always in that camp.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard a lot of talk about that, but the truth of it is more and more startling to me every day. The difference between how this quote unquote opioid epidemic is being treated and the way the crack epidemic was treated. And it infuriates me.
Right.
So shout outs and props to Charles Blow for telling it like a TI is. And I too would love to see that documentary. I need somebody to get on that.
I think I have only seen, and I did see his tweet. It came up as like every
I think
day.
I saw it. Did you retweet it? Because that might be why I saw it.
I might have. I think and I think I saw it because it came up in my every day Twitter sends me highlights or whatever.
Which
And
I don't like. I want Twitter to stop it. I need to figure out how to make that not happen.
I looked at it and was like, yeah, and the only other person I'd heard address it, I'm not saying this is the only person that has, just the only other person I'd heard was, I think, Diana Richardson. She's an assemblywoman. Is it New York? I think New York.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of addressed it back in October and basically was like, okay, so white people are addicted and now everybody's sad.
And that's really what it is. They're just so heartbroken.
So she pretty much
oh my God, children
out there, and I was
families like, torn asunder.
Yeah. And I was like, girl, that's the same thing we've all been saying. They're victims and it's so sad and oh, we've got to do something. But when it was crack, we were just all raggedy, poor, sorry ass,
felonious, violent.
Addicts. Look at them. They're so
they're tearing down their own communities.
Lock them up, and now I'm supposed to feel sad because, I don't know, Andrea, the young 16-year-old white girl from whatever foo-foo upper middle class white neighborhood OD'd on her mom's prescription pills. I'm supposed to feel bad about that though.
I always think of Florida. Because I do know that opioid whatever has hit Florida particularly. That's the first places I heard about, but for whatever reason I always think about Florida.
I know that I have heard some stories on NPR. I want to say it was last year. They did a few stories addressing it, and then I remember them interviewing some parents. It was like a colony state, but I can't remember what state it was. But I think it was a colony state, and it was a bunch of people talking about their kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, etc., who had OD'd. And I remember riding in the car feeling like, meh, not that those deaths aren't sad for them, but I was like, so, because when it's us, y'all don't give a fuck. I don't know why I'm supposed to drum up some kind of something and be like, oh, they should do something. Nope, I don't. Whatever. When y'all care, I'll care. But for now, meh. 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 Stay out your mama's medicine cabinet. How about that?
I do feel, addiction is terrible.
It is.
People losing their lives to addiction is terrible. So,
yep, it is.
It's not about the lives that are lost. It's about for me, it's about the responses the variation in responses is no less tragic when somebody is strung out on crack and ruins their lives and ends up dead.
Yep.
Than it is for someone to get strung out on whatever opioid stuff, whether pills or heroin or whatever. Right. It's all
of it
tragic. Yeah, it is. So, and it's not just young people. I hear a lot of talk. Oh, our young people are dying. It's not just young people. Come on, it's grown folks.
I know there are whole communities, and smaller towns where pretty much the bulk of the residents there are addicted to some kind of opioid. I'm like, y'all got to get that together, like do something. But
I have heard the same.
Don't do it and ignore all the other things that are happening.
Yep.
Don't tell me I should feel more bad for them than I feel for my own. I mean, I had a whole ass crack addicted father, and wasn't nobody feeling bad for that dude.
Right, because
right. So I'm not gonna feel all that bad for Andrea.
I like how she has a name.
Me too.
Given her, that's hilarious.
Andrea, and it's not Andrea because that's black. Andrea. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about Andrea.
That's funny.
Anyway, so shout out to Charles Blow, who is highly amusing and entertaining, and his Instagram is funny too. I love him. He's like a breath of fresh ass, brilliant air. So Charles Blow is the shit. I do want to say right quick on our way out, because we've been talking for hella long, but so what? It was entertaining. At least we were entertained. Shout out to Kid Fury and Crystal of The Read for their 5th anniversary of their podcast. I did want to shout out to them. They had a whole big event. I think it went down at the Apollo. I saw some clips on Instagram, and shout out to them. I do want to say that because that's one of the first podcasts I ever listened to. I still listen to it from time. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done running my mouth now. I'm going to use it for something more important, like a blowjob.
Oh, anyway, shit. Oh, sucky.
Somebody might get lucky today. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Tackling Tomfoolery. I am Malika Wakanda Forever Rogers.
And I am AM. Look for Malika's blow up. Lewis.
You might see it on Instagram.
Oh, that's right.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Peace out, y'all.
Tackling Tomfoolery is produced by Bren Inman for Evergreen Talent Collective. For more information, find us on the web at www.tacklingtomfoolery.com, on Facebook at Tackling Tomfoolery, and on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, and make sure you rate and review the show, as that helps people find us. If you'd like to contact the show, email us at tacklingtomfoolery@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 916-573-1065. Let us know what tomfoolery you're tackling. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.